A smaller hand.
And further along, Mary, Queen of Scots, in mourning for her French husband. There are various queens and princes here, some as miniatures. And these cases have been specially designed in order to show off these miniatures, as indeed they do, to the best advantage. In fact, the whole room has been changed and reassembled as part of this latest reconstruction. It was originally set up by Albert, the Prince Consort. And there were works here which have been found over the years to be doubtful. But now the whole room, in terms of colour and design, and above all of selection and attribution and frames and cases and so on, is a triumph of exact and careful scholarship. The countenances of men and women who were called to high office 400 and 500 years ago look down the centuries. And here, also in the heart of Windsor, and not half a minute away from the Holbein Room, the circumstance and ritual which surrounds the idea of royalty is once more made manifest. The collections and the ceremonies and the buildings provide the context and in themselves serve to enhance and to express the idea of the realm and the concept of the continuing kingdom.
Parts of the Royal Heritage series have been adapted into a BBC video, Treasures of the Royal Crown, and there's also a BBC book written by J.H. Plum and Sir Hugh Weldon and lavishly illustrated, entitled Royal Heritage. The 9 o'clock news is on BBC One now, and in half an hour Panorama reports on the cocaine explosion as drug dealers open up fresh markets in Europe. Here on 2 in a few moments, magic, mystery and mirth in the Paul Daniels Magic Show.
BBC Two presents a new season of drama with The Theban Plays, a modern version of Sophocles' powerful story of the Oedipus dynasty. Oedipus, king of Thebes, is admired by his counselors and loved by his people.
While these people suffer, I suffer too. Their life concerns me more than my own.
At the height of his power and popularity, Oedipus is unaware that the gods have already decreed his fate.
You will father your own destruction. Conceive the truth of your birth and death.
I have one wish, and one wish only, that you never discover who you really are.
Oedipus, a man condemned to discover the truth.
I am what I am. I have no wish to be otherwise. But who I am, that I must know. And I will know it.
The Theban Plays, a classic story for modern times, begins tomorrow at 8:30 on BBC Two.
And now this Monday night on 2 continues with the Paul Daniels Magic Show.
Enough. I deserve it, but enough. Anyway, good evening and welcome to the Magic Show, and welcome to you at home, people watching at home there. Welcome. And it's a good show tonight. You're in for a real treat. Some great guests and some good magic. Like this, for example. Now, this is a good trick. You'll like this. Not a lot, but you'll like it. And it's, I'll explain everything about it, because you will probably find this totally unbelievable. Here is a tube. Now, this is tube number 1. You can see all the way through it. Okay, if I hold my hand there, you can see my hand goes all the way through it. And it's what they call a thin-walled tube in the trade. Over here, we have tube number 2. Tube number 2 is the same as tube number 1, except that it is a bit bigger, so the tube number 1 can fit inside tube number 2. So now we've got 2 tubes, and they're both like this. It's not easy. Now, what I want the audience to do now is I can produce from here any colour, head square you name. Just shout out any colour at all. Shout out colours. Come on. Blue? Blue? Certainly, sir. A blue one. Right. All you've got to do is just reach in here and just reach in here. And there it is. I can't. Come on. A blue square. Sounds like pity. Now let's get something straight. You could have named any colour. The tubes are empty. You can see right round them and through them. Thin-walled tubes, and this one fits inside that one just like this one fits over that one, like that. Good, innit? And then you reach inside, and here's all the other colours you asked for. And the tubes are empty. Tube number 1 fits inside tube number 2, and tube number 2 fits inside tube number 1. And you reach, look. What we want is woofing applause here. We don't want you, I mean, I'm not producing little ones like other conjurers do. I mean, that's what they do, don't they? Like this, No, I'm producing one. It's a big one. Huh? Good grief. Clap, and the tubes are empty, and this one's as empty. The thing that baffles me is, where does that come from? No, not that. This, the rice that's inside. Let's go. Well, we've got to get on with the show. I've got some great guests for you. Great. No, it won't go back. It came out of that one, so you would have thought it would have come out of that one. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been out and about, as they say, or out and about this summer, because we thought it might be a nice idea in the show if we showed you some magic done out of doors. And we went out of doors to do it. So see if you can guess where we went this week. Well, as you can see, I'm out for a drive in the country in a beautiful car, and I'm actually in someone's driveway. I've got a beautiful lady with me too, and this is Hilary Kay, a director of Sotheby's, because at the end of here, we're going to try to find a very rare, unusual, and expensive object. Well, the drive in the country has brought me to Longleat, not only the home of the safari park, but also the home of many beautiful treasures. And we're going to ask the Marquis of Bath if he'll let me borrow one of them. Which is why, of course, I brought you, lovely lady.
To see
now,
them.
if you hop out of there, and that will let me get this out, and this is a device. Well, even you don't know what this is for yet.
Is that our tea?
No, this isn't a luncheon box. This is something very special. You'll like this. Not a lot, but you'll like it. Now, if you just, we'll put that there, and we'll just try and see if there's anyone in. Ah, your lordship.
How are you? Nice to see you.
How nice to see you again. Yes.
Really
This is Hilary Kay, who comes from Sotheby's.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hello, hello.
Very glad you
I know.
brought the nice weather, too.
And a lovely lady in nice weather. It's
Yeah,
even
lovely
more
lady.
important, sir. Now, I must explain to the viewers exactly why I'm here. And I'm here because this house has a lot of treasures, and we'd like to borrow one.
Certainly, of course.
Oh, you're very generous.
Yeah,
But can I have one about this big? You see, I'm...
Oh, we've got heaps of them. Yes, we can find one like that.
Can you?
I'm sure I can,
Well,
yeah.
what I'd like you to do, sir, is you go in there and choose an object about that big. I'd like it to be about that big. And if I could leave my hat, coat, and gloves with your man, that would be very
Crab,
nice.
certainly.
Mr. Crab, thank you.
want
Would
Mr.
you
Crab?
take those, Mr. Crab? And if you would go and pick us an object, sir, the hat, sir. Thank you.
Then I'll come out with the game.
Yeah, round the side, if you wouldn't mind,
Round
sir.
the side, right you up.
Thank
Down
you
the
very
left.
much. We'll meet you
Very
around
nice
the
to
corner.
Right, you be
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Crab. Well, Hilary, it's you, me, and the box on the side lawn. Very nice. Welcome to the House of Cards. The card castle that stands behind me is ginormous. And, of course, I'm dressed in this outfit because I'm representing one of the playing cards. And in this segment, we always do playing cards. Might I point out, I'm not the king of any particular suit. And I hasten to add, I'm also not the queen. I'm supposed to be the jack of something or other, but I haven't figured it out which yet. Anyway, because I'm a magician, strange people come and talk to me. And the other day, a fella came up to me and he says, Paul, do you buy playing cards? I thought, what a stupid question. I says, yes, of course I do. He says, well, when you buy them, occasionally in the pack, do you ever get a blank one? I said, yeah, of course I do, get blank cards. He said, have you kept them? I said, yes. And I took out 52, 53 blank pieces of playing card. And I showed them to him. He says, now, the idea I've had is this. I could save you a fortune. Supposing you bought all your playing cards blank. I said, what good would that be? He says, well, you see, if they were blank, they've got to be cheaper, haven't they? I said, yeah, of course they have. And he says, and if they were blank both sides, cheaper still, because you wouldn't have to pay for the backs to be on there, would you? I says, no, you're right. Well, he says, there you go then. Just buy blank playing cards, and with my new brilliant thought wave process, you would be able to just, pow, think of a card, and it would be printed on there. I said, how do you figure that out? He said, well, for example, think of a playing card, any one at all, and I'll cut the card. So I thought, okay, a 4 of clubs. And he went, and he cut the cards, and he had got the 4 of clubs printed. I said, that's amazing, but it's got no back on. He says, I know. I said, well, that's no good to me. He says, well, all right then, think of a different card. I said, can I think of a red card? He said, yes. And I thought of the 9 of hearts. He went, and he cut the cards, and he got one. And I said, it's got no back on. And he said, I know. I said, well, look, I said, can you cut the cards anyway? He said, yeah, you just cut them, you cut them if you want. So I took all the cards, and I thought 7 of diamonds, cut the cards, and I got one. I thought 2 of hearts, and I got one. I kept thinking of cards, but they'd always got no back on, and every time I mentioned it, he said, I know. I said, well, how do you get the back on a playing card? He says, it's very simple. You take one of the blank playing cards, and you think of the back. See, that's your problem. You've only been thinking of the front. I said, oh. So I thought of a blue back, all over geometric type design, and he went, and I had one. Now, I didn't understand this, so I said to him, now look, I said, what's the use of a pack of cards that's only got a front and it's only one card and a back at the other end and all the cards in the middle are all blank? He says, no good at all. What you have to do is get the whole of the audience to think of a different card each. So, audience, think of a playing card, okay? Now, have you all thought of one? Say, yes, Paul? Yes, Paul. They've thought of one, you see. And there they were with all the cards printed back and front, like that, just by thought waves. And he didn't even go... It was just there. I said, this is amazing. How much is that idea? He said, £56,000. Well, I've got to tell you, my mind went blank. And the moment my mind went blank, so did all the playing cards, backwards and forwards. I said, I can't afford £56,000. He says, you don't have to afford £56,000. If you don't want to spend the money, Mr. Daniels, I'll keep my ideas over there. And he did, and he walked away and left me with 52, 53 blank pieces of playing card and, of course, my £56,000. My next guests tonight, ladies and gentlemen, combine grace, skill, and great beauty of movement in a balancing act, basically, but it's so different. I want you to watch closely. From Havana, Cuba, we bring you Doris and Mario. Good. Nice, that. Now then, funny thing happened to me the other day. I was walking down the street, minding my own business, which is very rare for me, and I saw this fella, and he was putting a sign up on a shop. Now, do you read the signs on shops? I mean, do you really? I mean, you give them a glance. But do you really read them and see how stupid they are? This fella was putting one up. I've got a copy of it here. Look. Fresh fish sold here today. Now, you wouldn't give that a second glance, but I did, and I said to the man sticking it up, "Excuse me, Bill," that was his name, Bill Poster. I said, "Excuse me." Wasn't his real name. His real name was William Poster, but I knew him. And I said, "That's a silly sign." And he says, "Why is it silly?" I said, "Because if you'd sold the fish yesterday, you wouldn't have any left for today. And if you were selling it, nobody sort of advertised, 'I'm selling fish tomorrow.' Today, that's the word. Wrong." And he thought about it, and he says, "You're right, you know." So I'll tell you what he did. He got rid of the word today. Good, eh? And he says, "Now that, fresh fish sold here." I said, "Well, you wouldn't be selling it anywhere else, would you?" He said, "What do you mean?" I says, "Well, if you put the sign up here, I mean, you wouldn't be selling it anywhere else." He says, "Oh, I understand." He says, "It's not necessary for me to stick that up either, is it?" And I says, "No. Fresh fish sold," he says. I says, "Do you own this shop?" He says, "No." I says, "Who does?" He says, "The fellow told me to stick this up." I says, "Well, he doesn't give the stuff away, does he?" "Oh," he says, "Of course he doesn't." I says, "There you go. It's unnecessary to inform the public you're selling the stuff. Shops do not give it away." He says, "Right, I'll stick a fresh fish." I says, "That's a silly sign." He says, "Why? I've got to stick something up." I says, "Well, he wouldn't be selling old, tatty, stale, smelly old fish, would he? I mean, rotten." He says, "No, I see what you mean." So he says, "We don't need that." He says, "All I need to stick up is that bit. Fish." I says, "Yes, that's all. Just the word fish." I says, "The rest is superfluous." And then I had to think, and I says, "Just a minute." He was just about to stick it up. "It's not necessary." He says, "I've got to stick fish up." I says, "Sniff." So he went, "Pooh, fish." I said, "See? You don't need to advertise that at all." So we were just bundling it all up to get rid of it. When out of the door of the shop came this fella. Well, you should have seen this fella. Was he ever a size? I mean, a big fella. And he said, "Excuse me, where's the sign for my shop?" So I thought fast, and I am a magician. So what I did was I give a little blow, and he had back together, "Fresh fish sold here today." Oh, that, well, you might expect it in this show. Outside a fish shop, it's just a red herring. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard rumours that in America there existed a man who could do an incredible trick. The only problem was, could he do it within the confines of a studio? We got in touch, thought he might be able to. So it's my very great pleasure to ask you to welcome Jim Mather. Jim is from California, which accounts for the funny dress. And is this regular going out dress in California now?
Not currently. It's a costume based on a 17th century samurai outfit.
Oh, it's lasted well.
Yes.
So, what actually do you do for a living?
I run a karate school in San Jose, California.
Mm-hmm. Teach people to leap at bricks and stuff.
Right.
Funny that, you know, no brick has ever attacked me. I find it strange. What does the word karate actually mean?
Karate means empty hand art, meaning that it's fought without weapons. But it originally evolved out of weapon systems. When the Japanese government banned weapons in Okinawa, they kind of evolved into a weaponless system.
Oh. Now, what you do, in fact, goes a bit beyond that, doesn't it? It's not normal.
No, not normal.
In the school. No?
Slight bit beyond.
A slight bit beyond. It's a long way beyond. And I know you've incorporated it into a little playlet, and we're going to only show the highlights of that tonight. But nevertheless, you go and join your team, and I'll explain to the audience exactly what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Mather. Jim has brought several members over of the Californian Academy, and normally they incorporate all their skills into a little playlet, as I've said. We've only time for the highlights, and I'll explain exactly what happens as you see it happening. What has already happened in the story is that a young boy played by Dan Mather, Jim Mather's son, is having a dream because he's been mugged earlier in the day, and now he dreams he has befriended two martial art masters and in fact becomes one himself. In the dream, Dan Mather, the young boy, becomes a master of nunchaku, and he shows off a little with it in front of his two new friends. The nasty guy reappears and fires an arrow. And the real master of nunchaku smashes it to pieces. An incredible feat considering the speed of the arrow. Another one of the masters of this art, Gary Nakahama, himself a karate champion, now demonstrates the bow staff. Very similar, of course, to the device used by Robin Hood and his merry men in days of yore. And if you watch the end of the stick, you'll realize with the speed you could get a very nasty crack on the head, or when he lunges forward, somewhat of a stomachache. Gary Nakahama. Good, isn't it? And you've already seen Jim Mather split one of these in half using a device known as nunchaku. But the thing that made him world famous was the fact he can catch these as they fly through the air with his bare hand. Watch closely. Congratulations. How long does it take you to learn that?
I've been doing it for about 20 years.
20 years, wow. You see, the thing that gets me is you've got to time exactly when to close your hand, and this thing is traveling past. You don't have a long time, do you?
No.
You're very reliant on the archer.
Right, that helps.
Kurt Eppel.
Right, Kurt Eppel.
Nice guy as well. And of course, I must warn, you know, I admire the talent, but I must warn all the children here and the children who are watching at home, and anybody, in fact, do not try this trick. And even the master wears these safety goggle devices, because you got hit once, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the left eye.
In the left eye. And don't think you can also try it, Jim warned me today, with the rubber sucker type.
That's right.
The surgeon warned you against that, didn't he?
That's right.
He said that there's more eyes lost through blunt objects going in than sharp ones. So it's a strong warning. Now, we're going to ask you to do, well, me a favour and the show a favour. Can I just have this over here, Debbie? I see they call your assistant Debbie also, yeah? Now, Debbie has brought this. All the great acts have assistants called Debbie.
I see.
And this for me. Thank you very much. And I should have. What is this?
This is a compound bow, and
it's got pulleys fitted.
Right.
What they're for?
It's a pulley system that essentially allows a bow of a much shorter size to achieve the same amount of power as, say, a 6-foot long bow would.
I see. So compared with the last one, all this pulley system is pushing it out about 3 times as fast.
Yes, much quicker.
I noticed at rehearsal we could actually hear them.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear
I can hear them coming.
You can hear them coming. Well, that helps, I suppose.
Right.
And we're going to ask your bowman to shoot this arrow, which has got a tip on it, and I'll explain that as he did. Kurt, would you come in? Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Eppel, the bowman. Good night, round of applause. Thank you. What we've done is, you see, we've set up a couple of doors, and these are the sort of doors you'd find in English houses, and Kurt is going to show us not so much how sharp the arrow is, but the speed of the bow and the power of that bow. Right through one door and into the next, I think, from here. And that's pretty powerful, isn't it? And you've got to remember ladies and gentlemen, that these things are not designed to go through wood, they're just designed to go through animal matter. Some of it human. So at least you've removed the points. But even so, these things can be dangerous.
Yes.
And how fast do they go, you know, off the longbow we saw before?
Well, at this distance, I would estimate that it's traveling approximately 100 miles an hour.
And that bow that we're about to see gives about 3 times that power, but of course, because of the weight, the speed will be reduced to about, what, 170?
Somewhere in that range, I would imagine.
That's not, at 170, that's not very far, is it, to go past and grab it? I wish you luck, and thank you for trying on the show.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Maiden. Don't try it, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just amazing. I don't know what speed that was going, but from where I was sitting over there, that was fast. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Maiden. Now it's time to go back to Longleat, where things took a little bit longer than we expected them to, so we had to speed up part of it. In other words, do not adjust your set. Well, now, what we've done is come round to the side of the house, and I'll just put this on there because it's a scientific instrument, and it's also very heavy. Now, Hilary, you are here to value the object, and coming across the lawn now, even as we speak, is the Marquis with the object. And
that looks lovely.
Yes. Already at this distance you're valuing it, are you?
That's my job.
Thank you. Well,
That's suitable.
yes, that looks wonderfully suitable. It's obviously, I shall do my antique roadshow bit. It's a drinking device to stop you drinking because it's got a lid on which traps your nose. Anyway, could you tell me what it is exactly? And
Well, it's a covered tankard. It looks as if it's probably Dutch. I would have thought middle part of the 18th century, sort of 1750 or so. Does that fit in with your family
that's
records?
Right. Yeah, absolutely right.
Lovely object.
We thought it was German once, but I think it's Dutch.
it's got a little Dutch organ on there as well, hasn't it? Many of them around?
I haven't seen that many. I don't know whether there are others.
We got 3 more like that downstairs, but they're bigger. Much too
Really?
big, yeah.
Oh, well.
You wanted a smallish one, didn't you?
We shall make this one unique because it's got a little label on the side, like so, and you're going to have to value it. Just write the value anywhere on that side of the label.
Well, I would have thought that in auction this has to be about £3,000 now.
What? £3,000 to have a drink? Terrible. Well, and if you, my lord, wouldn't mind autographing, I don't normally ask for autographs, so there, would you autograph the other side of the label, and then this will make this particular drinking vessel quite unique in the world. There we are. Your dog's actually showing a lot of interest. He's facing the other way. Yeah.
They always have the wrong way.
Do they now?
Yeah.
Well, now what I want you to do, just hang on to that a second, Hilary, because we're going to now place it into my own device. And if you wouldn't mind, I'll just rest that there. It'll probably fall over, knowing me. And we'll just do me a favour, sir. Would you just hold that for me? It's a rather heavy box. It holds, in fact, a scientific instrument. Can you just rest that down under your chin? I say, you're obviously used to this sort of thing. And we'll just take this now and place it inside for safekeeping. About what year?
About 1760.
About 1760. And we're going to place this into this little device inside. Now, the actual thing is, you see, this is a scientific device which I must tell you about. It's just stored in this ancient, venerable case. I bet you're dying to see this, aren't you?
Is it something that I could use on a day-to-day basis? Is it going to help me?
Not a day-to-day. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, Hilary, just hold that for me, if you wouldn't mind.
Right.
Thank you. It's a little heavy, but nothing but the best round here. And let me open this up. I find this rather exciting. You see, Longleat is famous for its scientific equipment. And here we have a piece of scientific equipment par excellence. I bet you've never seen one of these before. This actually, if we can just take this out, it was designed to fit exactly into its carrying case, like so. And if I can just take that out and put it very carefully onto the tray, I will explain what it's all about. Now, you can see, my lord, it's got several dials and a couple of meters, one of those ancient switches they used in old days to throw the electricity on or off. And we have to set this for, give me a year,
1760.
1760. That goes to 1, 7, 6, and that's already on 0. Good. Now we just turn that one to there, that one to there, and that one to there. Now, if we just set that a little further forward on the tray so the people at home can see what's going off here, it's a very rare device. Now, to test the age of the object inside, all you have to do is throw the switch. And when you throw the switch like that, I don't know whether it rearranges the molecular structure or whatever of this box. It's quite an old box. All I know is that I have never actually used it myself. All I know is that the thing is supposed to...
Oh, my goodness!
Oh, it's a bit... You're quite right to leave go, madam. Oh, good grief.
Shall I hold it?
Well, no,
What else is it? Wait a second, where's the tankard? Where's the tankard?
What, sir?
Where's the tankard?
Ah, well, yes, I did mention it. It restructured the molecular, It's gone. It's gone, my lord. Never mind. One of those things that happens, doesn't it? I want to just put that down. I wonder if you would mind taking this, Mr. Crabbe, isn't it?
Sorry.
And if you just take that, and if you could bring me a deck of cards.
How much, £3,000?
Placate the lordship. Would you like to sit down?
£3,000.
Pardon?
£3,000.
Oh, I know. We'll. I don't know what we'll do. We'll have a whip round.
Perhaps we can win it back at the poker if you're
Are you
bringing some
insured?
cards.
You heard me order the cards. Am I what, sir?
Insured for that amount of money. Could you go
Oh,
for
no, my lord. We do things in a different way, we members of the Magic Circle. Here is a packet of playing cards, all right? And what I'm going to do is take the packet out of its box. Thank you. And we take the packet and we shuffle the cards. Now, this is a very simple overhand shuffle, you see. And if I do this trick really well, hopefully it will take just long enough for you to have forgotten you've lost one of the family tankards. Shame, really. Never mind. These really are all different. They're just, people suspect I use funny cards and they're not. These are all different playing cards. And what I would like you to do, my lord, is just have one of them. I shall shuffle the cards, cut the cards, and you just take one of those cards. Top, bottom, middle, anywhere. You've taken 2. Oh, you changed your mind. Okay. Now, you can see that the rest are all different. But subliminally, what is happening to you is you are currently looking at the playing cards and your brain is working like unbelievable speed and you actually now know which one is missing.
I do.
You do. So, sir, look at your playing card.
I don't believe it.
You remember it? Name that playing card.
The King of Hearts, I know
Is it the King of Hearts?
No, it's not the King of Hearts.
It's not the King of Hearts. Well, all right, then I give up for the moment. What is your playing card?
3 of diamonds.
The 3 of diamonds. We'll just show that to the people at home. And if you listen, it's always a funny thing on a beautiful summer's day in England. You always hear a little aeroplane droning away in the background. Well, we haven't got an aeroplane, but you might have been hearing our helicopter droning away in the background. Now then, if you look up there, I shall make your card tumble out of the sky. Look up there. Is on the parachute. When he gets further down, you'll see it. The card you chose is the 3 of diamonds on top. Isn't that beautiful? It must feel good when it's
Mustn't it?
Mustn't it? meet Lance Sergeant Andy Rule of the Coldstream Guard, who landed carrying the 3 of diamonds. I promised you it would tumble out of the
I saw
sky.
it.
And we didn't know whether he was going to come down on this side or that side. And we put a little oarsman over there. You'll notice he's also carrying, strapped to his waist, a sort of a camera bag device. He's just unbuckling that now. And he's taking that, putting down very, very carefully indeed. Because as he gets out of there, he'll have to open that camera bag on that side. This is our plan B. Because we hoped he'd come down here and you could take it out, but he'll open it out and show you what's in the bag, we hope. He has to unzip it, and in there he's got a bright red box. Take the box from you, sir, and you've had this strapped to you, circling up in the air all the time we've been down here, okay? Right, your berth there. Wonder if you could do me a favour, my lord. Would you just step here, my lovely?
Yes.
And you come here, my lord, and we just look at that. Isn't that beautifully wrapped? Beautifully. Would you like to just pull the string? Remember what happened to the last box?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't trust you at all. I hope it blows up in your face this time.
Oh, charming. Inside here is, of course, something, there's a blue box. I wonder if you could take the blue box out. Yes, thank you. And if you take that out, we'll just put that down there, and let's take the... Would you like to take the lid off the blue box, sir? And inside there is a yellow box. Now, if we take the yellow box out, and would you like to take the lid off there? 'Cause really...
There'll probably be a matchbox inside.
But remember, the helicopter was circling above us all the time, and yet when Lance Sergeant Rule came down, he has inside here
I don't believe
a very
that.
rare item indeed. And if you just take that out, first of all, it looks like your breathing spine, or whatever the correct name is. It's got little cherubs around. One should be playing the organ there, and it's still empty, sadly. But it's got a value written on by you, £3,000.
Yes, that's my writing.
Say yes, Paul.
Yes, Paul.
And that's your normal signature.
It is.
That's your Stein. My personal thanks to you, of course, for all your help
Thank
this
you
afternoon.
very much indeed,
And
Richard.
special thanks, of course, to Lance Sergeant Rule over here. Very thank you. I love this. All in black. And these, of course, are for you, courtesy of a rather well-known commercial. Thank you very much indeed. Hey, now that's antique magic.
Packed and sometimes violent.